Hello.
Hi, Lyda.
How are you?
I'm good.
So before we start, I was thinking about, questions that I wanted to ask you. And one thing that I always, every time I see you post and I see your name, it says Diva D.
Okay.
And I don't know you guys, if I told you that or not, probably not, but I've known her for a while now, especially through her best friend, Danya. So shout out to Danya.
Shout out, Danya.
We love you, we miss you. But when I met you, to me, you don't seem as a diva at all. Like, to me, you're so humble, you're so down to earth. I want to know why you chose that name.
Well, the reason I chose the name, I didn't choose the name. My friends chose the name for me.
Oh, okay.
So we all went to a music festival in Sweden, and it was like a vegan festival. So all the food was vegan, all about nature and stuff like that. So I was always complaining about, oh my God, people are farting, it smells. Why is the bathroom, we're in the VIP section, why do we have to share bathrooms? I was always complaining. And then they're like, oh my God, you're such a diva, we're gonna call you Diva D. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. And then during that time, when I was at the music festival, I was filming vlogs for YouTube, for my husband's YouTube channel. Nice. So anyways, I was filming all of that. I came back from the music festival. I gave the content to my husband, and I filmed 3 days worth of content, and he only used 2 minutes of it.
Wow.
Which really upset me. I'm like, I did so much work, and then you just used 2 minutes. So then what I did was I took all that content, and I decided to make my own YouTube channel. So I was sitting there hi, how are you?
Besties Cafe. So what do you guys drink today?
Can I have a cappuccino with coconut milk? Thank you.
Almond latte, like always. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So basically, I took all the content and I decided to do my own YouTube channel. And then I was sitting thinking of the name, what name can I put for my YouTube channel? And I'm like, oh, my friends were calling me Diva D. Let me just put in Diva D. And that's how I came up with the name. And thank you for calling me humble. I get that a lot. But there's always there's certain things that I like that I may come across as a diva because I have certain standards and so forth. But really, I always love to be humble. I feel like everyone is the same. And I don't think anyone's better than anyone else.
I love that about you. But going back to the name, so when was the time, how long has it been since you chose that name?
I think it was around 2017.
So 2017 to now, do you think it has still the right representation to who you are now? Do you feel like it's still a name that you can represent?
Absolutely.
Nice.
So the thing is there's Danya, the person, the mother, the friend, the wife, all of those layers. And then there's Diva D, which is the alter ego. So whenever Diva D wants to turn on, she'll turn on. And if someone isn't being okay with Diva D, she comes out. She comes out. Right? So it's, I think I have different layers to me, and definitely Diva D is a big part of who I am.
So at the show, because you're also known for your YouTube channels, which I think it's so funny when you went and did the makeup reviews. And I loved sometimes how you kept it so cool during how they did your makeup. I would be laughing so hard. But you're also known for your YouTube channel. You're known in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. That's where you grew up.
Yep.
But recently you've been known for being at the reality show, Dubai Bling.
Yes.
Walk me through you getting the call. I know your husband got the call to be on the show, and then he recommended you.
Yeah.
So when you had a conversation with them, walk us through, how did it go? How did you feel to the point where you decided, I'm going to be in the show?
So basically, like you said, I first started with YouTube, and I got very comfortable being on camera because I was vlogging the whole time, doing makeup reviews, worst and best makeup. And it was just a creative outlet for me. I enjoyed doing it so much. So then when Dubai Bling came, it was the next step. It goes from YouTube and then it goes to Netflix, right?
Yeah.
So they first reached out to my husband because he's a DJ, he's from the UAE. It's a bit different, controversial. They spoke to him. And then he told them, you should meet my wife. Nice. She's an interesting person, just meet her. So they're like, sure, we'll have a meeting with her. They had a meeting with me. They're like, yeah, great. We want you on the show as your husband's +1. They never
Oh, wow.
casted me as a main cast.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, yeah, great. Like, I always believe when life gives you opportunities,
You
take
take it.
advantage of it. So I'm like, okay, I'll go as a +1. I'm not going to complain and be like, I need to be main cast. I went in, I showed them my style, I showed them my personality, I showed them what I can give. And by end of season 1, I was already a main cast because of like the role I played. So that's basically what happened. And everything that I've come, like how far I've come in my career, my husband has been my inspiration. Like before
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Like before I married him, I never used to even show my face.
Why?
Because I'm Emirati.
Yeah.
From Abu Dhabi. It's not a very common thing for Emirati women to show their face, post their pictures online.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
But why is that? Because first of all, I have to say, Middle Eastern women are next level. Like so freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
Why is it that you don't show the face? Is it? Tell me a little bit about it, because I was like struggling. I met a few Emirati women, and they're so beautiful. And I asked them, I said, I want you to be one of our models, because as you know, I have my own beauty brand.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we don't show the face. And I was like, how can you not show this beautiful face? Because I come from Switzerland, LA. I'm not used to that culture. Yes, I'm Middle Eastern myself, but I grew up in a European mentality. Mm-hmm. So tell me, for the people that don't know this part, why is that?
I think when it goes to culture, the way society is set up here, and some people even for religious reasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the main reason is a cultural thing that, you know, we don't show our women. The men can go out, but our women are so precious, so protected that only certain people can see them. Not everyone's eyes can be on our women. So I think it's actually very beautiful that, like, you know, they're very, oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is that's yours, right?
You got it. No, which one is the coconut?
That one? Oh, okay.
You
Nice.
wanted an iced one or you want a hot one?
Can I just say the coffee is really good.
Oh,
it's strong. And
yeah.
I love strong coffee. Coming from Europe, strong coffee is a must.
So do I. I love my coffee, so it had to be good.
So good.
I'm glad you like it.
So good. So let's go back to, you said that it's a respect for the culture.
Yeah, it's like, you know, our women are precious. We don't think that everyone's eyes needs to be on our women. So, you know, they're very, you know, we like to keep that private.
So then how, okay, so when you say that,
Yeah.
how is that for you? Because you didn't just show your face on Instagram. Literally the whole world saw you. So how is it to be the first Emirati woman? Congratulations on being on Netflix.
Thank
That's
you so
huge.
much. Thank you.
And then also, how was the decision for you to, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of comments that went against you as an Emirati woman to probably out there. And I think you are doing a great representation.
Thank you.
For the country, but how was that for you?
So, like I said, before I got married, I was always private, never posted my picture in public, all of that. Then I got married to my husband, which is a huge public figure in the UAE, in the Middle East. So I think for me, it was a decision. Do I choose to be private? Because my husband always gave me the choice. Like, you want to be private or you want to be public? Like, you can choose what you want. So it was the choice I made if I want to continue being private or if I want to be in the public eye. So then I started my own public Instagram account. Yeah. Eventually, it became into YouTube. And all of these things were inspired by my husband. Like, I always want to give credit where it's due. And like YouTube, I learned everything about YouTube from my husband. Dubai Bling, I wouldn't be on Dubai Bling if it wasn't for my husband. Like, he's put in so much work, like, throughout the years to get to where he is. And then I just, like, I'm the wife, so I get to, like, you know, learn from him. Yeah. I get the easy way. And, I mean, it is hard being the first Emirati woman on Netflix. There's a lot of pressure. And, like, this concept of representing a culture or a country, I never want to take that on. Like, I always
but you
say...
do in a way, though. You do.
But the thing is, like, I always say I represent myself. And the only thing I can do is represent myself the best way I can. Yeah. And if people want to take things from me. Well, she represents women, she represents Middle Eastern, she represents Emiratis.
Yeah.
That's what they choose to put on me, those labels. But I don't want to give out those labels. Like, I just want to be Danya, Diva D on Dubai Bling. I am Emirati. I'm so proud of being Emirati, and I try my best to represent myself the best way I can.
Being here and that culture, it just is such a beautiful thing. But then again, I know the other side of the culture where you said it can be it could be a lot. You know what I mean? Because you have certain rules.
Yeah.
So how do you play with that when they put that rule on you?
I mean, to me, it's like when you think about the pressure, like even Dubai Bling, like when people tell me, you know how many people have watched Dubai Bling? You know how many countries have seen it? Yeah. Like, just to think about that, that's a lot of pressure. So what I do is like, I come back to myself. I'm like, who are the people that are important to me and who I need to represent? My dad, my mom, my family, my husband, my children. These are my core family, right? Yeah. So I think, am I representing my dad well? Am I representing my husband well? Am I representing my children well? Am I representing myself well? If I tick all these boxes, then I'm happy. You know what I mean?
So would you say with, when the show came out, you, in a way, were not portrayed the Danya that I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that was the representation that you wanted from your parents, your kids, and your husband?
I think, when you get on a reality show, you're already, like, you have to know what to expect.
Right.
They never tell you what's going to happen. You're not in with the edits saying, hey, make me look good here, fix this angle, make sure you put the whole sentence in without cutting it out. Like, there's so many things that you don't have a say in. So when you go in a reality show, you go in thinking anything can happen.
Right.
But me in the real world, off camera, people like you that know me, you know who I am for who I am. And I represent myself. So that's more important to me. At the end of the day, Dubai Bling is a show. It's there to entertain you.
Right.
So I can't be like this boring person that sits there and does nothing. We need to entertain the audience or we're not doing our job.
Right.
So no, it did not represent the full Danya, maybe bits and parts here and there.
Right, right.
In certain situations, but not who I really am, no.
So would you say Danya is on Dubai Bling, or would you say Diva D?
For sure, Diva D.
Okay.
Any social media platform you see, it's Diva D.
Right.
On Instagram, on YouTube, on Dubai Bling, that's Diva D. When the cameras are on, Diva D turns on.
Why?
That's who she is. Because that's me protecting Danya.
Okay.
Right? Like, even right now, I am Danya with you, but there are cameras here, so to some extent, there is some Diva D. But when there's no cameras and when I'm having like an intimate conversation with my friends, with my family, that's who Danya really is. Being on Dubai Bling, like, it's like such a huge show, right? You change, as an individual, you change. You go in public, you don't have privacy anymore. You're not the same person. So all your relationship changes. You think about, with my kids, before I used to easily go out anywhere in public, not worry about like how I look or someone recognizing me. Right. And I would just be a mom with my kids. Now I have to be like, hey kids, make sure, let me get ready. Like, it takes me a while to get ready. I need to make sure I look good. When I go with my kids somewhere, someone might ask for a picture. My kids have to wait for the picture. Like, it can, not completely, but to an extent, change the dynamics of how I can be in public with my kids. Husband, same thing. Like, always cameras on us. If we go in a restaurant, as soon as we walk in, everyone recognizes us. When we're sitting having dinner, they try to look at us. What kind of conversations are we having?
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, she's not smiling. Is she upset? Did he say something to her? We're under the microscope all the time. So it makes it even harder for us to go out in public. So, of course, I'm not complaining. It's a blessing to be on the show. But there are certain things that like changes dynamics in so many different... And then also, you can't trust a lot of people. Before Dubai Bling, people wanted you for you, right? But after Dubai Bling, after the fame, you don't know who really wants you for you, or if they have bad intentions towards you. Like, I've created this like wall with a lot of people. Like, they need to go through a lot of
people to get to you, or
a lot of people to get. Like, I'm not as accessible to people as I used to be.
Right.
Because like I don't know people's intentions anymore. you know?
I mean, to me, living, I mean, yes, it's great to have all, you know, the fame and the business and the money that comes with that. To me, I always ask the question, is it worth giving up the privacy and what you just felt or just told me? Because to me, it's like, I am such a homebody,
Yeah.
first of all, and I do this, and it's so funny, someone asked me, why do you want to do the podcast? And I always say, I'm not someone who likes to go out. You never really see me go out. Even
Yeah.
if I get invited, I don't go out. But I love human beings and I love people and I love conversations. If you want me to get like a small talk, forget it. I'm really bad at that. Like that's something I'm really bad. So I was like, you know what? That's one of the reasons why I want to do this is to have that conversation. And this to me is going out, right?
Yeah.
So if I think about, first of all, if you see me around, you always see me basketball shorts, no makeup, hair up, but my skin is good.
Always. Shout out Lyda Beauty.
Thank you. I'm just saying. But there's certain people who are meant to be famous. And I said that to you. I said, you are born to be known. I cannot do that. If I don't have to be in front, and it's funny with all the lights and about 20 cameras, but I do this in my own environment, right?
Yeah.
It's like I can control that.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm a very control freak. I will never be able to give up what you are giving up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with meeting people, not knowing what is it that you really want? Do you want me as Danya or are you after Diva D? How do you do that?
Well, first of all, fame is a big price you pay. Like, privacy is a big price you pay for fame.
Right.
Huge. But you can't, it was a decision, you know, being on the show, being famous, that was a decision. And like I said, no regrets. Never I regret anything. Can I control it? Can I control going out? Yeah, I can. I can stay at home and invite my friends over instead of, I can try to control it to some extent. But then when I go out, I know that I'm going to be recognized. I know people are going to be there. So I need to be mentally prepared. So it's just like, you just do different things to be able to deal with your new life, right? But like you said, you love people. I love people. I love meeting people. I love meeting fans of the show, fans of me. Like it makes me happy. And I think in regards to intention, obviously like people from the show that are fans of the show, I think they all have good intentions.
Right.
They want a picture, they want to have a conversation, I'll give that to them. But it's like other people that want more. You're like, why do you want more? Like, what is it? And how do I protect myself? I always like, I'm not as naive as I used to be. I always like...
Is that the fame or is that because you are getting older? You know, like we're all getting older. Is it both?
I think the older you get, the smaller your circle becomes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You get a lot of experiences, you know, growing up, like when I was in my 20s, I'm still 21, obviously.
Forever.
Right? But like when I was in my 20s, I had such a big group of friends. Like all my birthday parties, I had 50 people coming and like, invite her and invite your friend and like everyone come and let's have a good time. And it was different. But now I'm like, actually, no, if I want to have an intimate birthday, I just want certain people that I know I feel comfortable with, I trust, and that's it. It's just different. Like even allowing people into the space of my house, no way.
Oof, that's huge.
If you're invited to my house, you've been through so many tests until you come to my house. I do not allow anyone in my space.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
But for me, it's also because of the energy that people are... I know you and I are very similar when it comes to that. Like, I mean, all of us are spiritual. Mm-hmm. I'm on a very spiritual journey for the past 17 years. And to me, energy means everything. And I know that's the same thing with you. So I know when someone comes into my house is... you passed, like you're good with your energy because it can affect so much. I just had a conversation with my husband actually the other day, and I said to him, I used to, you know, lose a lot of hair, and I started to change a lot of things about myself. Like, for example, I got rid of a lot of, not me, I would say God was able to get rid of a lot of people in my life that are toxic. or watch toxic movies or music, certain things that are affecting my energy that I let go of. And I can see it, and I know it's going to sound weird, but my hair is coming back.
Wow.
My skin looks better. I, as a person, am feeling so much better. So I relate when you say, when you come to my house, you pass that.
You passed the test.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I love about you, and that's why I wanted to do this first episode with you, you took me in. Like, I came to Dubai and you opened your arms and you let me in. And I wanted that for people to see the other side of you. And you really, like, with my brand, you talk about my brand, you support me, you show up, we go out. Did that at all change you a little bit after the show came out? Do you feel like, you know, sometimes you're giving too much to other people, or are you good with controlling the energy that you're giving out?
I think initially when the show came out, I mean, before the show, I used to always give a lot of energy to my friends, to people I know.
Yeah.
That's who I am as a person. After season 1, you know, there was more fans. I would like hang out with them. When I would travel, like if there was a fan on another table, like, hey, come join our table, we'd sit with them. Like that was the energy I was giving. But then it got to a point where I was getting exhausted because I was giving so much energy. I would come home and I wouldn't have enough energy for my family. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
Right? Because family always comes first.
Right.
So now I'm learning, like now we're on season 3. Now I'm learning how to, you know, give my time, but like control it. You know, like we meet up, you're a good friend of mine. You have a beautiful energy. You're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
I love to hang out with you. I think energy is all about exchange. I can't just sit there and like take from you and not give.
Right.
Because it just doesn't flow that way, right? Like you give, I give, we have a beautiful conversation. But there's some people that like they just want to take, and then I recognize that real quick and I'm like, I'm out. Like I can't do that.
How do you do that? Like when you see someone keep taking, how do you stop that relationship? Are you someone that you're like, cut out, get out, delete, block, whatever? Or are you someone that is slowly backing out?
Oh no, straight away.
Wow.
If I feel someone is, you know, taking advantage of me or taking me for granted, I cut them out straight away. Diva D comes out and she's like, no, like this is not happening. My time, my energy is so valuable, more valuable than fame, than money, than time. Like my energy is everything. And if you are not, like you don't deserve my energy, I'll cut it out. Why should I give you my energy?
Wow.
Right?
I mean, I agree.
Everything is energy. I think people need to realize that. Everything.
That brings me to a question that I have. I wanted to know that about you, because I know, you know, you said in an interview that I can tell that your dad means a lot to you.
Absolutely, girl. You nailed it.
That he...
Daddy's girl.
Yeah, and I've never met him, but I can feel the energy when you talk about him. And he showed you and taught you a lot about your religion and culture. I wanted to ask, do you believe in God or the universe?
Absolutely.
I believe it, 1000%. But I want to know, when you have a conversation with God, how does that look like? How does that sound like?
I mean, I pray 5 times a day, alhamdulillah. I read the Quran. I mean, you might see me like, she's not religious, but like, I love my religion. I love praying. And my conversation with Allah is praying. Putting my head on the floor in sujood and speaking to Allah and telling him how I feel and what I'm going through and thanking Allah for everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Always saying, thank you, Allah, for bringing this problem into my life. This is a lesson you're trying to teach me.
I just got goosebumps.
And I'm learning my lesson. And now they're saying the adhan.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. So honestly, like when God gives you a problem, just think by yourself. I mean, that's what I do. I say, thank you so much for this problem. I know you're trying to teach me a lesson and I will try to learn it. And once I do, I accept the lesson and thank you.
But how I mean, I told you, I'm in my spiritual journey for the past 17 years. And one thing that I've been trying very hard to learn for the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, is to have no expectations towards people or situations. It is hard sometimes because we are human beings.
Absolutely.
But I try to have no expectations. But how, if something bad happens, right? How can you turn to God and thank Him for the lessons? Like, because so many people struggle so much with so many things. Like, we are, thank God, so blessed with everything that we have.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing I do in the morning is when I wake up, I open the window and I look outside and I say, thank you, God, for everything. Every morning, that's what I do,
Beautiful.
right? But there are situations where things happen to me or my friends or my family, and I turn to God, and the first thing is, why me? And then I used to do that a lot. Like, I would turn to God and be like, why me? Why me? Okay, I am so perfect. Why me? Kidding, I'm not. But there's a lot of people who go to that to say, why me? And it's so hard to achieve what you just said. How can people learn that?
First of all, it's so normal. It's human nature to say, why me? Why did this happen? I'm a good person. I don't deserve this, all of that. But sometimes, because you're a good person, these things are happening to you, so you become a better person.
Ooh,
You know
we
that?
all felt that, huh?
I think you're the only one that feels me, but like,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yes, I agree 1000%.
But how do you get to the point when you say, thank you, Allah, for the lesson? You have to sit with yourself and not say, hey, why did Lyda, for example, I'll give you an example. Why did Lyda treat me that way? You know, why me? Instead of saying, why did Lyda do that to me? I'll say, what did I do to let Lyda treat me that way? When you start looking at yourself,
Right there.
all the answers, everything will be answered.
Right there. I can tell you, this is so huge what you're just saying. This is, I remember, and tell me if you were the same or not. So when I was growing up, I used to be a very aggressive kid. And I would always think people who are loud and scary are the ones who get the most respect. When I started growing up, I realized, especially when I married my husband, he's so calm and so chill. I would realize, wait a minute, being like him has so much more power because he's calm and you can really tell what he's thinking, what the next move is. With someone like me who is loud, you would know, like, that's not you being strong or anything. That's you being weak.
Absolutely.
Right? That's like weakness to other people. So when you say, like, I don't look at what you did wrong, I look at myself, what have I done to let you wrong me? But I take it to the next level. What I started to learn is, and I'm sure you're the same, is when something happens, I started to put myself into that, even if that person hurt me or is hurt, I try to put myself in their situation to understand their perspective, but for me to learn. Not saying that whatever they did is correct, but it makes me as a person stronger. To me, being able to, I stopped waiting for the people to come to me and apologize. When I see I did something wrong, I go and I apologize. And that to me makes me such a good person, because having forgiveness, because at the end of the day, I believe that we're all one and we come here to learn. We're here to learn. Like you said, everything that happens to you happens because you needed to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you learn it or not. But if you do, then you get to the next level.
But can I give you another tip?
Oof, yes, please.
If you don't learn the lesson, it will show up in another form.
Right there.
I think
agree.
whoever is watching this, it's something that I learned through time. But when you're given a problem and you don't learn the lesson, I promise you it's going to come up in another form. So you need that time, that first time that problem comes, try to accept it and try to learn from it so it doesn't come up again.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I'm starting
Right.
to learn to do it. It's not easy. I mean,
know.
it's easy to say than actually do. Obviously, I'm working on it and trying to like accept everything that happens, but it's a journey. Everything is a journey.
Right. you talked about it's a journey. So I want to take that journey a little bit to the other side. You are a reality star. You are an influencer. I know you don't like that word influencer, but you are. You're influencing a lot of people around the world, and it's beautiful. But you're also a entrepreneur, right? So we're sitting in your cafe, the Besties Cafe, which amazing. You guys should come check it out for sure. Would you say you see yourself as more like a reality star influencer, or would you say you're more an entrepreneur? Because you have the cafe, you have picnic, or what is it called, right?
Yeah.
You have this restaurant, like you have the hat collections. You have so many amazing companies that you started. Also, before you even started Dubai Bling with your cap business. So would you say you're more an entrepreneur or more a TV personality?
Wow, that's a really good question. I never sat down with myself to actually think about that. I don't know, to be honest. I think I'm both.
Right.
How so? Because Dubai Bling is a business by itself. YouTube is a business by itself.
Right.
And those two, being an influencer is a business by itself.
Right.
And all those three things involve being on camera, right?
Right.
So I think it's a mix of both. I love trying new things. Before the show, after the show, even the show I did it for the experience of saying, when I'm like, I don't know, 80 or 90, inshallah, I have a long life, I'll be like, you know what? Like when I was younger, I was on a reality show. How many people can say that? I had my own YouTube channel. I had a cafe with my friend. Like, by the way, the shout out to Ibrahim, because this is like 50% mine, 50% his.
Shout out to you, Ibrahim.
Yeah, so it's not fully mine, but I mean, you saw the show.
Right.
It was just an idea, and it came into reality.
Yeah, how did it start? Because I didn't even see you guys really talking about. Oh, actually, you did talk about opening the cafe in the show, right?
We did talk about it, and even before filming, we were just joking about it. Like we go on podcasts and be like, hey, it'll be so funny if we open a Besties Cafe, and then we're like, why don't we just do it? Because life is all about experiences. I think a lot of people do things for money. You know, they think, hey, let me do this so I can get money. Let me do this, but that's the wrong mentality. Do things because you love them, and do things because of experiences, and do things because they're an outlet for you. Do them for other reasons, and then money will come by itself.
That's the one thing that I have to say too about you is you're very selective when it comes to working with brands or working with people. Like you need to, and I really, really love that about you. Like you do a lot of research on how is it made? Where is it coming from? Is it ethical? There's so many checklists that you have.
Absolutely.
Until you say, you know what, I will put my name on your brand and I will represent you, you know, in that way. But like you said, a lot of people do things for the money. Why were you not like that? Why is it for you that you have to have all these check marks and you're like, nope, yes, and then you make the decision? Because you could have so much money, and like so many people come to you and want to work with you.
Yeah.
What is it for you that you're like, no, this is how it needs to be?
It all comes back to energy. So
Right.
what you give always comes back. So if I'm going to promote a brand just because I want to make money without even doing my research, what if like the brand I'm promoting is hurting someone's hair
Right.
or skin, but I'm promoting and lying to people just to make money? Like that's not ethical, and that's energy that's going to come back to me. So whatever I promote, I need to make sure that I truly believe in the brand. Like it is something that I would actually use. It is something that I like, and then I would promote it. If it's not, then it doesn't matter to me. Like money is there. Money is always there. It's never going to go away. One way or another, what's
Right.
meant to be will find me. So I'm not going to lie to the audience and be like, hey, buy this just so I can make money. That's the way I was raised. Like my dad always taught me to have values, to have ethics, to have morals, to not cheat people, to not lie to people.
Right.
Like all of these things are things that have been instilled in me from a young age. And like throughout my life, I've taken it with me, like in businesses, in like speaking to people, how I treat people. It all comes back to the way I am as an individual.
Your parents did a good job.
Thank you.
No, they
I think
really did.
They're pretty cool, my parents. Yeah.
They really, really did. It's like,
Thank you.
again, you're one of my favorite people, and I'm not just saying that. You know,
Thank
I
you.
remember Donna always talking about you, and she would tell me, like, for example, I remember I was in LA with her, and we were having coffee, and somehow we were talking about you, and she said, "You know who she is? She is so straight up." I said, "What do you mean?" She would say, "One day this and this happened." Then I would call her, and she'd be like, "It's your fault.
Yep.
You put yourself in that situation, girl.
Yeah.
You get yourself out."
Yep.
Like, you're that person, and that's one thing that I wanted people to see, the real you. And I know there's season 3 coming out. Are you happy with how they portray you?
Look, the thing about the show, it's not me. It's not all of me. It's just like 5% of who I am. You don't
Right.
see all of me. So at the end of the day, you're not always 100% happy. You're like, hey, I said this, why didn't you put this in? Or I did this, why didn't you show this? Or there's a lot of things that doesn't make it to the cut.
So you don't go to the Netflix team and you are angry at them? Because I know if I would be on the show and they would twist it around, I would go to the producer. I'd be like, "What's up?"
Of course, you're
Like,
human.
how do you do with that? How does that work? Because you get to, before it even comes out, you
Yeah.
guys see it,
No,
right?
we don't.
You don't see it?
Nope. We see it with the whole world.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's even scarier.
Yep. We see the trailer with anything that comes out on Netflix. We haven't seen that before it comes out. We see it on
Wait.
TV with everyone else.
Do you and the cast do you guys have a chat? Do you have a Dubai Bling chat?
Yeah, we have a group chat.
You do?
Yes.
So what happens in that chat?
Oh my God, it's the most dramatic group chat
Really?
ever. It's hilarious.
Who would you say is the most dramatic in that chat? In a most positive way, of course, you know?
You'd be surprised. You would think certain people from Dubai Bling that are super dramatic will be dramatic on the chat,
Right.
but actually it's the opposite. The people that are dramatic on Dubai Bling are sometimes are really calm on the chat.
No way.
Yeah, like me, I'm actually funny on the chat. I'm not dramatic. I don't start drama. I'm like always laughing, like just making jokes. I think it would be unfair if I say who's dramatic, but like just to give you something,
Right.
it's the opposite of what you see. Like on Dubai Bling,
Right.
whoever's drama on the chat, they're like super chill, and it's like the other way around.
Interesting. So do you guys write in the chat, or do you guys meet and let's say the show comes out.
Yeah.
Do you guys meet when the show is out and you guys talk about what happened, or are you guys very much like separated and don't really hang out with each other?
I mean, obviously, there's some people on the show that are close, some that aren't as close. Like, you know, there's different dynamics
Right.
with every cast
Right.
member. I don't know how to answer that question. It just depends on what comes out, right?
Right.
Like season 2, there was a certain person that said certain things about me that I didn't even know that they had said.
Right.
So there was like a conversation we had on the phone, like, why would you say that? It was first an argument, and then we settled, like, you know, like peacefully. We're like, okay, I'm
Right.
sorry I said that. I'm sorry I said that. We settle. There's some people, they say really nice things about you, and you're like, oh my God, like, I didn't think you felt that way about me. Thank you so much. And then, you know, it's just different dynamics. Every season is different.
So one thing, I mean, I knew, but you hit that really good for a whole year.
Yeah.
Really good. That's what I'm going to tell you. When I have a secret, I will feel so comfortable and good telling you.
Okay,
Because
good.
you are so good with keeping
I am.
secrets.
I am.
This is insane. Not just what I'm about to say, but in general. You gave birth to your 3rd child 2 months ago.
Yep.
And you hit that for a whole year.
No one even knew I was pregnant. No one knew I was pregnant. No one knows I gave birth. It was part of the show, because you know what happened on the show.
Right.
So basically, we had to wait till the show comes out until I was able to say that I was pregnant.
Wow.
And then I
Is
gave
that
birth.
because it's in the contract, or was that the decision that you wanted to make? Because I mean, when you get, I mean, I'm not a mother yet,
Yeah.
but when you are pregnant, you want the whole world to know, and when you give birth, how did you make that decision that you're like, I'm not going to talk about it until the show comes out?
Well, honestly, believe it or not, even though I'm super public, there's certain things that I like to keep for myself.
Right.
Like, I think pregnancy is super sacred. Giving birth is super sacred. Like, these are
Right.
very special things that I don't think the world needs to know until I'm ready to talk about it. So even with my first child, before Dubai Bling, before the fame,
Right.
I just had my own friends and family following me on Instagram. I announced that I was pregnant maybe when my son was 6 months old.
Wow.
I was pregnant because I always think like, why do I need to, like, that's so sacred to me. So
Is that because you believe in, like, you know, the evil eye? Do
Yeah,
you
of
believe
course.
that? Is that the reason why you're doing that? Or is
That's-
it because you wanted your joy for yourself?
all of the above. So
Right.
evil eye links to joy, right?
Right.
If someone if they're thinking about you and like maybe someone doesn't have a positive view towards you and they're sending you negative energy, like why would you want that for your child? Someone that just
Right.
came into this beautiful world. You want to keep that sacred, private, and just keep it for yourself and your immediate family. So that's who I am as a person. Like I feel like pregnancies, births, all of these are very sacred things, and I mean the world doesn't need to know about it, right?
Right.
Like until you're ready. I think now that the show is out, now people know, and you know they know that I'm pregnant on the show.
Right.
So it's fine. Like now it's past. Like
Right.
the scary part is past. I had a very hard pregnancy, like
Why?
super hard pregnancy. I was in the hospital like every single week. I had
Wow.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like this thing that some pregnant women get where they can't keep anything in. They're constantly like vomiting and feel nauseous. I felt nauseous for 9 months.
Right.
I
I
had-
remember when I was messaging you, like, do you want to do something? You're like, girl,
couldn't.
I can't leave the house. Like, I
can't.
don't feel good.
It was so hard. Like people at the ER knew me. Like, hey, you're back. I'm like, yep. Give me my IV. Like, I need some fluids. I lost so much weight during my pregnancy. Usually, you gain weight.
Right.
I just lost so much weight. I was so sick.
And scary was a very, I guess it's very scary, right?
Yeah, it's scary, especially being famous. Like people go out there, like, what's wrong with you? Like I would just wear a mask, wear my shades, go to the hospital, come back home. Like for 9 months, I was trying to stay home as much as I can.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hard. It was an easy pregnancy. And I think a lot of people don't see that. They just see the glamorous like pregnancy shot that you post online, you know, you and your family taking the cute picture with the baby. But they don't know the sleepless nights that you have. They don't see the hard times of having that beautiful child.
Right.
You know, it's not easy.
So how do you feel now after pregnancy?
I feel great. I'm so glad I'm not pregnant because pregnancy does not suit me at all. Like
You
it
look
just,
cute though when you're pregnant.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you. I mean, I feel great. I'm happy. I'm blessed. You know, I can't complain. I'm so happy. Alhamdulillah.
What is the one thing that you would like for people to know about you, about Danya, not the Diva D, about Danya?
I think I value my family, my friends, my circle. That's very important to me. I don't know, maybe some people know that, some people don't. The thing is, like, I'm an open book, so you see everything on my Instagram. Like you can see that. But I think, I don't know. I want people to. Everyone has their own opinion. Like, this is who I am. I value my relationships, and yeah, I mean, I'm not as crazy as you see on TV. I'm actually a very calm, chill person.
Yeah.
I'm actually really funny. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people might not
You
see
are.
that. I'm very funny.
You are.
Thank you. Thank you. I think maybe a lot of
She
people
really
don't know
is.
that.
So what is next for Danya and what is next for Diva D?
I don't want to say because I don't want people to think about it. But Danya's always going to be here. Diva D's always going to be here. She's not going away. Shout out to all my haters. I'm going to be here in your face all the time. So I'm always going to be here. Yeah.
So one last thing, because as we talked about, you know, I have my own brand and I actually got into the beauty industry because I was always a tomboy and I was never able to really do makeup. And so we created the Cleopatra Cat Eye Stem. And then from there, I started getting into the skincare which I work with like the top best chemists in the world. It's like my passion. Like I love being in the lab and creating products, and I know you know that. To me, beauty is so important. It's not just putting on makeup and that's it. To women, that's like so, like, it's a relationship with yourself that you have. And skincare is like you're, in a way, naked, right? It's only you and your skin with your flaws or without, if you think perfect, not perfect, whatever. I started, because of my brand, I really started to learn that the more you can be yourself, the more that you don't try to fit in anyone else's mold, you are perfect and powerful, right? Yes, having makeup and skincare and all that is great, but you being yourself, to me, that to me means powerful, right? What does beauty mean to you? Like if you could define beauty, what does that mean to you?
If I could define beauty, I think it comes down to how you make yourself feel and how you make others feel. So, I mean, I think we both agree that beauty is from inside.
100%.
Inner beauty is the most important thing. And then that radiates out. If you're beautiful from the inside, it just radiates out. If you're beautiful from the inside, you accept yourself the way you are. You don't want to change yourself. You don't want to, you know, you just are beautiful, right? And one thing I love about your products, that's what it does. Like, it doesn't try to change you do anything. It just tries to enhance what you already have and just make it better. Like, and that's beautiful. And I love your products, by the way.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
They're so unique. You can tell there's so much passion and love that goes into your products. And I know you're like this behind all your products. And I wish you all the best and the success. And I know you're going to go so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just want to finish by saying, when I had the idea for the podcast, I immediately thought of you. I was like, you have to be my first guest. You already took me in and you showed me Dubai, and there's so much that I'm learning from you. And I just want to say, like, you don't know what it means for you to show up and be here. And I hope you know what kind of person you are. Like, you are, I know a lot of people see the glam and all the other side of you, but I hope that people get to see the Danya that I know and your friends and people that love you, because you really, truly are a really amazing friend. Like, such an amazing friend.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being here, doing this. And thank you for letting us film in your amazing cafe, you and Ibrahim. And so, yeah.
Thank you for having me. And whatever you say is a reflection of who you are. Because you're a good person, you attract good people. So thank you.
Thank you. That's it.